Everyone has their own unwritten rules that they follow when it comes to sparring, whether they're aware of them or not. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the most important ones. These are the things that separate the boys from the men, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what separates you from being a great training partner and being a good one. You ready? Let's go. Alright, so no, one is training is not a real fight. This might seem obvious, but let me ask you a question. When was the last time you were in a real fight? Most of us will never be in a real fight. So how do we know how to act? Well, in order for us to act correctly, there needs to be rules, right? Otherwise, if there's no rules and it's just a free-for-all, then people will get hurt. And that's what we want to avoid. So if you ever have the opportunity to be in a real fight, remember these rules and you'll be fine. But for now, let's just pretend that training is a real fight. Now, the first rule of a real fight is you never try to actually hurt somebody. Now, this is the biggest thing that you need to understand about fighting. It's not like training where you go out there and you try to smash your opponent as hard as you can, because that is not what happens in a real fight. If you go out there and you start trying to injure somebody, that's called assault. That's illegal. We don't want to be illegal, right? So that's why in training we try to go hard. But the difference between going hard and trying to hurt somebody is night and day. Because if you're trying to hurt somebody, you will not be thinking about technique. You will not be thinking about anything else other than hurting that person. Whereas if you're going hard in training, you're still thinking about technique. Still thinking about what you're doing. You're still thinking about how you would apply that technique in a real fight. You're just doing it faster. And if you're going hard in training and you accidentally hurt somebody, then that's just an accident. But if you're trying to hurt somebody and you hit them with a haymaker and you catch them off guard, well, that's on you, bro. No, 2 is you don't go too hard. There's certain things that you just don't do. For example, kneeing somebody in the groin. That's not cool. Eye gouging. Not cool. Biting. Not cool. Kneeing somebody in the back of the head when they're down. Absolutely not cool. And any kind of dirty tricks that you see on the street that you think, wow, that guy really deserves it, don't do that stuff. Because if you go too far and you do something that's not acceptable, then you lose the respect of your training partners. And if you lose the respect of your training partners, you're not going to have any training partners. And if you don't have any training partners, then you're not going to be able to train. If you can't train, then you're going to suck. That's not what we want, right? So the best way to make sure that you do and go too hard is to have a training partner who's willing to call you out when you do go too hard. No. 3 is you don't go easy on anybody. Now, this ties into the last point. You don't go easy on anybody. In fact, you go as hard as you possibly can on everybody, because everybody deserves the best training that you can give them. And if you go easy on somebody, you're robbing them of their opportunity to get better. It's very easy to go easy on somebody on purpose, but it's a lot harder to go hard on purpose. Because when you're going hard on purpose, you're really pushing yourself. You're really testing your own limits. But it's a lot easier to go easy on somebody like, oh, hey, let's just take it easy today, right? It's much more mentally taxing to go hard on purpose than it is to go easy on purpose. So if you're a good training partner, you push your training partners to their limits. And if they call you out, then you push them even further because you want them to be the best that they can be. But also remember that they should be pushing you to your limits as well. And if they don't, then you should call them out. No. For as you don't turn your back on anybody. This is probably one of the most important rules of all. Because if you turn your back on somebody and they knock you out, then that's game over. That's lights out. You don't want that to happen. So always stay aware of your surroundings. Always keep an eye on your training partners. Never turn your back on anybody. Now this is especially important when you're doing live rounds in the gym. If you're doing pad work or heavy bag work or anything else, that's fine. But when you're doing live rounds in the gym, never turn your back on anybody. Keep an eye on them at all times, because if you don't, then you're going to get knocked out. And nobody wants to see their training partner get knocked out. And if that training partner is you, well, then you definitely don't want to see yourself get knocked out. No. 5 is you don't leave your training partners hanging. Remember, the gym is a family. And if you're part of the family, then you have to look out for each other. You have to have each other's backs. If you're in the ring with somebody and they're getting tired, then you help them out. You pick them up. You make sure that they're okay. If you're outside of the ring, you always offer a helping hand. You always try to make sure that they're doing okay, just like in a real fight, right? If you're in a real fight and your buddy's getting tired, You don't just leave him there to fend for himself. You help him out. You pick him up. You make sure that he's okay. So that's what you do in training. You pick your training partners up. You make sure that they're doing okay. And if they're not okay, you help them out. No. 6 is, you don't tell anybody how to do their job. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has their own way of doing things. And if you're a good training partner, you respect that. You don't try to tell them how to do their job. You don't try to tell them what they should be doing instead, because that's not your job. Your job is to be a good training partner. Your job is to help them get better. And the best way to do that is not to tell them how to do their job, but to show them what you're doing and let them figure it out for themselves. No. 7 is you don't complain. Complaining is for losers, and nobody likes a loser. So if you're a good training partner, you don't complain. You don't complain about the heat. You don't complain about the work. You don't complain about anything. You just suck it up and you get through it, because that's what champions do. Champions don't complain. They just go out there and they do the work. So if you're a good training partner, you don't complain. You just shut up and you listen. Finally, no. 8 is, you don't be a hero. Now this is probably the most important rule of all, because if you're a hero, then you're not a team player. If you're not a team player, then you're not a good training partner. And if you're not a good training partner, well, then you're not going to have any training partners. And if you don't have any training partners, then you're not going to be able to train. And if you can't train, then you're going to suck. And that's not what we want, right? So the best way to not be a hero is to put the team first. Put the team before yourself. Make sure that the team is winning. It's the most important thing. It's not your individual accomplishments, not your individual glory, but the team. That's what matters. So these are the 8 unwritten rules of sparring. And if you follow these rules, then you will be a good training partner. You will be a good teammate. Most importantly, you will be a good fighter. Now go out there and put these rules to the test. Go out there and be a good training partner. Go out there and be a good fighter. And most importantly, go out there and be a good person. Thank you.